Yo guys, it's up Shatter here and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. Today we're gonna work on another room, a new room, one of the two lost rooms on, well, the three main decks. And I have thought about what kind of room I want to add. And I found something, at least for one room is clear now. I found something that I think should be on the ship. That I didn't have yet, and it kind of fits into the lower quarter bits, which is more kind of like a storage holding facility thing. Basically, we're gonna add a cryo storage, or a cryo facility, whatever you want to call it. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna call it yet, but it's gonna be something along those lines. So, you know, just for an RPG standpoint, some facility basically where, for example, non-essential crew that doesn't need to be awake during the flight can be in, you know, because they don't need to be awake, for example, so they're basically in cryo. Or, for example, passengers that technically don't need to be, you know, awake all the time for a long trip. They can just go into cryo. So it's gonna be a smaller cryo facility. It's not gonna be able to hold the whole crew, obviously, but you know, something like that. And I also thought that maybe the cryo facility will have its own like hydrogen oxygen storage system, or at least a small one, basically for emergencies, maybe even like emergency batteries and stuff or something like that, that if basically if they get cut off from the ship, that they essentially can survive until, you know, everything has been restored. Something along those lines, if that makes sense. So right now I'm just fixing the outline here for the most part. There we go. And then from this silhouette we can start working. I have the feeling I will have like a pretty straight corridor where there's going to be the cryo facilities in, and then either at the, or maybe the cryo facility is going to be at the start, and then the storage, like emergency stuff at the back, or the other way around. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll have to think about this. Oh well, let's just start with the floor, pretty much. I think once we see the area that we can work with, we'll have a better knowledge about how we're gonna go on with this room. Also, I have to kind of figure out how the entrance is gonna be like, so let me just weld this real quick so I can get a little bit of a visual here. I think we're gonna have something along these lines here. So we have like a 3x3, or like a 3 width of, or a girth? Width? Length? No, a width of 3 blocks. That should be enough. So you basically, you get down here, and then you will have left and right are gonna be different rooms. In front there's basically the access to the hallway, and then if you go down here, this is gonna be access to all of this. It's gonna be very interesting to design all of that. That's gonna be a challenge. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. You know what? I'm actually going to replicate this on the other side as well, just so we're in sync already with that kind of stuff. There we go. That's pretty good. Let's just slap down as much blocks as we can. Then we'll see. I've not quite thought about the other room yet, because I don't know. First I thought maybe it's gonna be like one big cryo facility, but I think that's a bit boring just to have like mirrored rooms all the time. Also, it's kind of annoying to build, to be honest, because if I do different rooms, I kind of very free to place things and to fiddle with things, and there's a lot less mistakes happening, because if I have to copy stuff, it takes a lot more time because I need to go back and forth and look, and there's a lot more mistakes that can happen. It's, you know, sometimes it makes sense, but oftentimes it's really easier to be non-symmetrical, you know? There we go. We have it. me just dump all the steel plates into here. There we go. Alright, unknown signal. Nope, still not gonna check these out. I have no reason to do anything like that. I've seen they're going on with new collision updates again. So they're still working on that. Basically, I would call them anti-clang updates if they're doing them correctly. Which, if they can pull that off, if they really can, you know, make it so that rotor and piston-based collision is a lot less likely or even completely eliminated, that would be huge, because a lot of like builds basically fail because of piston and rotor-based destruction. You know, because they, you know, a block gets caught on something it shouldn't really get caught on, and then it starts to freaking clang out and it absolutely explodes in your face. That's why I'm avoiding rotors and pistons most of the time, especially with these big builds, and in survival especially. I mean, in creative, it's not that big of a deal. I can copy things, you know, have backups of things, and it's not that much of a deal if something explodes every once in a while. But here, it's a bit of more devastating, you know? So, it's a difficult thing. So I really hope they can fix that. Although I have the feeling it's kind of difficult, because clang is very, like, ingrained in space engineers, I have the feeling. It's very much part of the core of this game.
Energy low.
But yeah, what can I say? There we go, so that's the outline, essentially. Just put on the walls so we can have like a visual of, oh, there we go, a visual of our available space. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we have this bit here. Now this would lend itself to like battery storage perhaps, or maybe even gas storage. Now for the cryo facilities, you always have to keep in mind with cryo facilities that, if we just grab one of those, that you basically need a block behind the cryo pod to feed it into the frickin' system, right? So, space-wise, it's actually kind of difficult to really have lots of different cryo facilities after each other. It's gonna be quite difficult to pull that off and to make it look interesting and not completely all over the place. I'm not quite sure yet how I'm gonna do it, honestly.
Energy critical.
Because let's say we place, let's say we make like an entrance room, maybe something like that. Then over here we're going into cryo facilities. Even if we say we start like here, this one is okay, this one is okay, and then already here we're struggling, you know, because, well, here we could technically take this block away and replace it with a conveyor block, but it's already kind of difficult. You know what I mean? It's annoying. I have the feeling I have to make like several cryo rooms. Every cryo room with like maybe 6 pods in it or something. It's that's a bit of a problem if you do round designs. The room, you know, the areas that you can work with are quite difficult sometimes. Because oftentimes designs kind of require rooms to be kind of square to really look good, but you can do that often if you have like a round hole, a round edge, essentially. So you have to work around this fact, I have the feeling. But yeah, we have to figure something out, as always. I wonder, how long have I been working on this ship? It feels like ages. It's almost like a little pet project now, you know. It's something I'm not sure I will ever finish, honestly. And And I don't know, you know, I have the feeling earlier Space Engineers episode were different because there was always something different happening, and now it's basically become a builder's diary, almost, for me. Where I just, you know, take notes of the journey here. How long it's actually taking, how much effort we're going through with this. Because sometimes if you see like these grand builds on workshops, especially if they have been built in creative mode, you sometimes it's not easy or sometimes you see these and you think, oh my god, I'm so bad at the game. I've played so many survival games and I never built something like that. But you never should forget that in survival it's like so much more difficult to build something decent. Not just because you lack certain tools like symmetry functions and placing whole layers and stuff, but also just from a logistics point of view, and it takes a while, you know. I actually am kind of impressed that my motivation did not dip for this year, for this project essentially, because that is something that I see happening with a lot of things I do. I start a lot of projects and don't finish them. Not necessarily on YouTube. YouTube is actually not bad. On YouTube I'm not bad at it. Not too bad anyway. Lots of things I pull through the end, but in basically offline when I play games, sometimes I start little projects. I want to do that. I want to get these and these things. I want to play through with that character and stuff. And I start a lot of these things and then I never finish them because I lack motivation. Not even because it's not fun anymore, but it's just because I cannot get myself to do it. Maybe because there's other things that are just a tiny bit more fun. Even though the fun probably would return if I actually finished it. You know? That's sort of a lot of things that you need to motivate yourself to do it, and then you will have fun on it, you know? But you need to motivate yourself to take the leap. Essentially. It's actually with Kenshi that I play on the channel. That it was one of these games where I looked at it a long time and I thought, that is too bothersome, that sounds too complicated. And then one day it was on sale and I thought, yeah, why not? Played it and basically I cannot stop playing it. That was one of these games. Alright. Not long now and we should be able to, well, at least kind of start telling where things go. It's still, it's gonna be difficult to really make this look professional, I have the feeling. I don't know. Well, you know, I question a lot of things that I do if they look professional. I know they're not necessarily. But yeah. I'm actually really happy that now the wings are complete, because with the wings now it looks a lot better. There's sometimes these things that if you finish them, projects, even though it's only like 1% of the project, it looks like it's 10% more done, you know, from a visual standpoint. That really helps with motivation too. If you have visual results, obviously that helps. Kind of like when you want to lose weight. If you see that you actually are losing weight in a few days or something, that motivates, of course. And at the point where you don't see the change anymore, like directly, then that's hard to keep your motivation going. It's just the same thing everywhere, I guess. Alright, let me fix these up. And then we need to place down at least a few of these cryo pods and see what we can get away with, essentially, you know? There we go. Alright. So, let me get a few steel plates and a few interior plates so we can start placing these things down and can start planning our little layout here. So let me get... what shall we get? Like 50 of those? There we go. Good. Let us design the room. Okay. So, I would say there's gonna be some sort of an
Energy low.
entrance, and it's probably gonna be about this in size. Now, there's two ways how we can now go on. Either we try to make like a door in the middle of here that goes into a room where there's going to be cryopods, and then there's going to be another room. Or what we could do, we could like do a bit of an offset here, like an offset hallway of some sort that goes around. And then we're gonna have maybe like a maintenance room back here, and then we're gonna have several cryo rooms here, something like that. I wonder if we can make this work. Let me think. What kind of dimensions would we be working with here? Oh wait, that makes no sense. Hold on. Okay. You know, something along those lines. Then maybe the entrance is gonna be here. And it doesn't necessarily need a door. It just needs basically an entranceway. Something like that. And then you're gonna have... The problem is with the corners. It's kind of awkward. Honestly. We can at best fit, I mean, like 3 here. Oh, yeah, that is not... It is gonna be really, really tight. The way we need to fit these. I think the room looks cool the way it is. Like this diagonal shaped room, but it's very hard to use it properly, so to speak. Okay. Let's think about this real quick. Is there any way we can maximize the usage? I mean, here, technically here, we could draw this a little bit back and then have cryopods like here. The problem is we cannot really do that here because there we run into the outer perimeters. We also cannot do it here because of this thing, unless if we do this one, we can do it if we basically shrink this room artificially like that. Then we can do it. Then it's technically possible. That means we have like 6 cryopods. That's not that much though. That's really not much. That's a bit of a problem with the cryopods, I feel, but what can we do, right? I mean, another thing that we can do is actually make this a huge open room. Let me just take all of that away real quick. Take all of that away. Actually, take that away as well. There we go. And let's switch that back just real quick. If we do it like a big open room. Let's see, what kind of dimensions we're working with here. This is 4. This is 3. So more like this. Okay, so what if we take the cryopods and basically arrange them like this, so that you have these rows. double-sided rows, essentially. Same on this side. Okay, that is a bit awkward. Oh yeah, shit. No, that's not gonna work. If you do it with 3 each, then it works. Then it kind of works. Okay. Yeah, and then... Yeah, okay. So we'll have the entrance here. Yeah, I think that is actually something we could do. And then we have, what? 12 cryopods? That's still not that much, but it's better, I think. Yeah, I think that is doable for the most part. So that means we'll have... let's see... Conveyors... Go, it's like that, and then they will flow up into the upper levels. And then back here we will have, even though it makes technically no sense because batteries are not just, you know, for this part, but we could have some like emergency batteries here, and then some let's get some tanks. Let's see, how can we do this? Potentially, we could do something along those lines. Have an oxygen tank over here and a hydrogen tank over here, or something like that. Yeah, something along those lines. That could work, you know? Yeah, and then we have here a conveyor that goes up, and here, oh, whoops, almost. And then here a conveyor that goes up. And then basically, can you remove this? No. That is non-removable. We could just make this room a little bit smoother by just, you know, doing something like that. Okay, maybe we'll just do 2 batteries, just so we can, again, do the room symmetrically. Basically the exact thing that I said before that is not necessary, but there we go. Or we could just do the batteries in the middle. That's also a possibility. They don't need to be on this side. Then we could also put the access to this room right here. Yes, and then, for example, put the batteries right here. Yeah, it's kind of like a little backup generator thingamajig room. I think I like this setup. I mean, this is not perfect usage of room space, I'm sure. But it's, I think, the best we can do with what we actually have. What we're allowed to... You know, with the boundaries I have set for myself, essentially. Which is... That's what it is, right? It's not like the game sets me boundaries. I do it for myself, because that's how these games work, right? It's kind of like in Minecraft. You have to set your own boundaries, your own goals. That's just how it is. Let's see. Does that make sense from a construction perspective? Let me just see if I kind of, at least from a symmetrical standpoint, have it kind of right. Yeah, kind of. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then over here, what I could do as well... Let's do this, and then we could maybe put some facilities in here. Maybe a shower and a toilet. I don't know. Maybe if you come out of Cryo, you need a shower and a toilet, I could imagine. So these we could fit in here, potentially. Yeah, I actually like that. I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay. Yeah. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the outcome of this, I would say. So I'll just start welding the walls. And then next time we really go into building this whole thingamajig. I'm not quite sure how far we get, because it's quite an extensive build. I have to build up a lot of these cryo chambers and whatnot, so that's gonna be quite a task, but I'm sure we can do it next time. I mean, with the magic of time-lapse, you can do almost everything in an episode. Even if it takes a year. Oh, that would be cool at the end when I'm finished with the ship. Make a time-lapse, basically, over the whole construction cycle. That would be sick. Don't even know if that would be possible, but I don't know. But yeah, I think this is the way to do it. I think that's good enough usage of the room. You know? Could be worse. I especially like this little room back here. I'm really a fan of this one. That looks good. To me, at least. This is as good as it's gonna get. I mean, we can technically add one cryopod more. We just grab frickin' 2 interior plates. Come on. Let me grab 2 of you. Oh, wait. Cryo. Where am I? Here am I. So add 1 here and 1 here. Yes, I think that is like maximized. So now we have 14 cryo facilities. Then we can still add like some sort of spacers here, or maybe not. I'm not quite sure about these. Maybe we'll just leave them there. I don't know. But yeah, and then here maybe a little snack machine, or maybe a bench where you can sit down. I don't know, something along those lines. Or maybe a closet or something, you know, maybe close to the maintenance room where you can store your tools in, something along those lines. But yeah, I think that is exactly the way to do this. Yeah, let me just finish the outline for today, and then next time we can go into the actual room building. And hopefully, I'm not quite sure we can finish the room next time, you know, with all the lighting and everything, but I mean, already, if you look from below, not much is missing at this point. That's pretty cool. I like it. Every time I look, it's getting more complete, this ship. I love it.
Energy critical.
Yes, yes, yes. Very much critical indeed. Okay. So that's the essential outline. Well, let's get these as well. I have a feeling this room will not be airtight because of this, perhaps. I'm not quite sure, but it might give me some problems. But yeah, so we'll have a control room. Let me do this so we can use this for preview images. There we go. A control room. Then we go over to the cryo facility itself. And then the maintenance room, or the storage, power storage, emergency generator kind of thingy. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I like it. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and take care.